A couple of years ago, I went to a haunted forest attraction with my friends. It was supposed to be a fun night out, just to get some scares, have some laughs, and maybe grab a few beers afterward. But that night is something I still can't forget. I don't think I ever will. There were 5 of us. Me, Mike, Jess, Sarah, and Dylan. Mike had heard about this haunted forest thing that only happens once a year. It wasn't some well-advertised event with actors jumping out and scaring you. It was word of mouth, very local and a little sketchy. That should have been the first red flag, but we were all about the thrill. The location was about an hour out of town, deep in some backwoods area. We piled into Mike's truck, laughing and joking around, not taking it seriously at all. The drive itself set the tone. Pitch black roads with nothing but trees around us. No cell signal. I remember Sarah making a joke about how this felt like the beginning of a bad horror movie, but we all just shrugged it off. When we arrived, it wasn't what I expected. There wasn't a big parking lot or any signs, just a dirt path that led into the woods. A guy in his late 50s with long gray hair was standing by the entrance, wearing a flannel jacket and holding a lantern. He didn't say much, just handed us these flimsy little flashlights and told us to stay on the path. We joked about how authentic it was, thinking it was all part of the atmosphere. The forest was dead quiet, except for the occasional sound of leaves crunching underfoot. At first, we were all just messing around, shining our flashlights at each other, trying to spook one another out. But after about 20 minutes of walking, things started to get strange. There were no actors, no sound effects, no props like we'd expected. Just us walking through the woods. The deeper we got, the more we realized how unnatural the silence was. No animals, no wind, nothing. "Where's the scary part?" Jess asked, her voice sounding unusually loud in the stillness. None of us had an answer. We just kept walking, but the fun had started to drain out of the night. It felt wrong. The trees seemed to close in on us, and the path got narrower, almost like it was trying to force us deeper into the woods. That's when Dylan screamed. I spun around and I saw him on the ground, clutching his ankle. His flashlight had rolled into the bushes. He swore he tripped on something, but when we helped him up, there was nothing there. No rocks, no roots, just smooth dirt. Still, we chalked it up to a bad fall, and though Dylan was limping, he insisted we keep going. About 10 minutes later, Mike was the next one to fall. Only this time, it was worse. He didn't trip. He just suddenly collapsed, like his legs gave out. When I knelt down to help him, I saw the blood. It was a thin line of red, stretching from his ankle up to his calf, like something had cut him. It was too clean and too deep for a branch or bramble. I felt a chill run through me, and suddenly, it wasn't fun anymore. We needed to leave. I told the group as much, but Mike, being Mike, brushed it off. "It's probably part of the scare," he said, gritting his teeth through the pain. But that didn't make sense. How could an attraction that was so poorly put together have something that would hurt you like that? The further we went, the worse things got. I swear I started hearing things, whispers, just out of reach. Every time I flashed my light in the direction of the sounds, there was nothing there. It was messing with my head, and I could tell it was getting to the others too. Everyone was quiet now, except for Jess, who kept muttering that we should have left after Dylan's fall. Then we found the clearing. It was like the trees opened up into this wide, empty space. In the middle was a massive, rotting tree stump. At first, it didn't seem like much, but then Sarah pointed out the symbols carved into it. Strange, jagged shapes, almost like letters, but from some language I didn't recognize. As I got closer, my flashlight flickered, and then it died. The others' lights went out too, one by one, leaving us in total darkness. And that's when we heard it. Heavy breathing, not from us, from something else. It was deep, raspy, like whatever it was had been there for a long time. Sarah screamed, and before I could react, something ran past me. Fast. Too fast to be human. I grabbed for my phone, hoping to use it as a light, but I had no signal, no battery, nothing. I don't know how to describe what happened next. It all happened so fast. One moment, we were all standing there, trying to figure out what was going on. And the next, Dylan was gone. 1 second he was there, right beside me, and the next he had just vanished. We called out for him, screaming his name, but there was no response. The breathing got louder, closer. I swear I could feel hot breath on the back of my neck. That's when Mike finally snapped. "We need to leave. Now!" he yelled, and we all took off, running in the direction we thought we came from. But the path was gone. The trees were too thick, too close together. We kept running, crashing through branches, trying to get out of there. By some miracle, we eventually burst out of the forest, panting and terrified. The old man with the lantern was gone, and so was his truck. Mike's truck was still there, though, and we didn't waste a second jumping in and speeding off. We drove straight to the police station. They searched the woods for hours, but they never found Dylan. They never found the clearing or the stump with the symbols either. It's been years, and none of us have been the same since. We all moved away from town, trying to forget that night that changed us forever.